And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken right here on BearcatJournal.com. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Stop down in Dayton, Kentucky, which is minutes from downtown. If you're in the downtown vicinity, you are close to Galactic Fried Chicken. So get down there, tell them to pump it up, save yourself 15% off of your order. And if you're in the 275 loop, go to the app, get some delivery, and they will bring it directly to you. And it's well, do you think like Brendel, Aaron Smith, you think like as basketball season gets close, maybe like the movement, like to see how much people are paying attention, like maybe you have to tell them the movement to get 15%. I'll have to run that by Shane. Shane's a football guy, played football at UC. You would be supporting a UC alum by going to Galactic Fried Chicken. I did that today, not at Galactic Fried Chicken. I did that last week, but this week I supported a UC alum. We went to Island Fridays for lunch today, which is obviously right there.
Yeah, you ran into Coach Cam, I hear.
I ran into Coach Cam. It's like I was standing there in line. Coach Cam tried to go in the front door. They've changed their situation at Island Fridays now. You go to the window on the side, then they bring you out the food. Coach Cam was just going to walk in, kind of to the kitchen, and I was like, bro. And he was like, Chad. I was like, dude, you can't. The dining room's closed, man. And so we stood and chatted for a few minutes.
Nice.
And it was good to see Coach Cam. And awesome food as always. I love Island Fridays. One of my
get the Kool-Aid on tap, right?
No, that's Chiba Hut.
Oh, also right there. But
yeah, Island Fridays has they have an awesome strawberry lemonade that I got today. It's part of one of the lunch meal. But I get jerk chicken, rice and peas. Got to ask them for gravy. They put the oxtail gravy on top and then the cabbage.
There you go.
It was phenomenal. So. Yeah, not to do a Island Fridays, but just support like both those guys that own those places played football for UC. Alabama Q, another one. Like there's a pretty good list if you want to make a list of the former UC football players that are in the restaurant game
business. Yeah,
maybe we can get them all hooked up at Restaurant Paper Supply and make it one big happy family.
Quality paper supply.
Sorry, I didn't have the read in front of me. I'm an idiot.
Got you. That's what I'm here for.
Appreciate you. Interesting day today as the Pac-12 had their media days. I know you love this. Like you love this guy. This is your favorite guy.
It's
George
not.
Kliavkoff.
Well, because he's a clown. He's a clown. Like, here's the thing: is the Big 12 has gone out and they hired a sniper. They hired a dude with swagger who walks into the room knowing he's a boss. Whereas George Kliavkoff is of the old school, good old boys club, thinks that he's going to be able to talk his way around things and do things in the shadows and make things happen. But here in the year 2022, sometimes things get leaked.
Yeah, and so today, there's a couple different things today that came from Kliavkoff at Pac-12 basketball media days. The last time we saw this guy kind of making a fool of himself was at Pac-12 football media days. He's really only speaking when he has to. When he's forced, essentially.
Because he's not good at it.
Right. And guess what happens when they force him to do it?
He ends up with his foot in his mouth.
So take us through it.
So today he ends up talking again, and he mentions that at UCLA, the dozens of coaches and athletes that he's talked to. Dozens of coaches and athletes. They don't support the move of UCLA to the Big Ten, which let's go ahead and give him a score of a half point for this. only because he's finally saying something about the Big Ten, who stole your schools, and not pointing it somehow at what the Big 12 has done.
I still don't get his hang up with the Big 12. Like, I mean, I do because, like,
Because he knows who's coming for his throat.
Yeah.
Not the Big Ten. I mean, the Big Ten already got theirs. They're
but
good.
the Big Ten could still be coming for his throat. They could still very easily come for Washington or Stanford or Oregon.
Cal.
Like they are still very much a danger to his conference. But he's kind of like, we've talked about this. It's like a, battered spouse syndrome. Like like the Big Ten just keeps slapping him, and he's like,
"Thank you, sir. May I have another?"
It's his fault. If he wasn't such a mama's boy.
So I don't know. I mean, the dude, just anytime he talks, again, he just ends up with his foot in his mouth. The fact that today his letter to the state of California to try and, I don't know, block UCLA and USC from leaving is
so essentially for those that aren't familiar, back when this all went down, the governor of California tried to make a political play because UCLA is part of the California school system. Cal Berkeley,
they're state funded.
Obispo, Cal, UCSD, UCLA, UC Irvine, UC. All of those.
They get state funding.
Well, but here's the difference. So they don't have individual like UC has their own board of regents, I guess is the equivalent to what they do out there. The schools don't have their own individual governing body. They have the University of California
Board of Regents
that governs all of the Cal affiliated schools. And UCLA did not ask the Board of Regents if they could leave for the Big Ten.
Well, why would you? Because then it gets out. The more people who know,
everybody knows. The whole key to conference realignment is keeping it a secret until it's ready to announce.
And in all fairness, this is similar to what Texas did when Texas left UT.
And what happened?
They filed an appeal with the Board of Regents trying to block Texas from leaving. This is not new to this game of expansion, if you will.
So the governor of California is on the Board of Regents and felt like it was his political play to insert himself into this. And then Klyakov got involved, and the letter from Klyakov, basically asking the Board of Regents to block UCLA from leaving to the Big Ten, was leaked. That is a sign of desperation. Please, sir, please help me. Please. I run this other show over here, and we can't have them going away. We need them. They're worth a lot of fucking money. This guy looks like a joke.
Yeah.
Pretty much every time he opens his mouth.
Yeah, he's not done himself any favors. At this point, I don't even know that he's done the conference any favors. I mean, I guess you can, if you are the conference, you can feel okay that you have a guy fighting for you instead of just taking it in the face. But I feel like you're fighting a losing battle, and the people that you keep picking a fight with as you're going down swinging continues more often than not to be the Big 12.
Hypothetically speaking, this is what I believe. I believe if I would text one of my sources at UCLA or USC,
is that what you
and ask them if they were the leak that told the commissioner that they didn't want to go to the Big Ten, you know what I think they would say? You know what I think they would text me back? No, it wasn't me. Because guess what? The people that matter want to go to the Big Ten.
Sure. Why would what is helping you? What you're talking about? And that was the funny thing too that Clivekov said in this whole back and forth of comments. He said that the money that UCLA and USC would be making by joining the Big Ten would be offset by costs in other places. Excuse me.
Guess what? They're okay with that.
You kidding me?
They're okay with that.
Going from what? Let's say the Pac-12 gets a deal done with their new media rights. Let's say, for simple math, that they get it done for 50.
They won't.
You want
30 maybe.
I'm being generous here.
Yeah.
Say you get it.
You're doubling.
Say even still, Chad. Say you get it done for 50, and you get 100 from the Big Ten. You want to tell me that the money that you have to travel with, and
it's going to cost you $50 million to fly softball to Wisconsin?
Get out of here. No.
You know, here's what I think will be interesting to see, and I think it's probably in some places already happening. With a lot of this extra money, you know what I think some of these outliers are going to do? Is they're going to buy a couple planes.
Why wouldn't you?
Right. Because now you don't have to worry. You hire a pilot, you buy a 100 or a 50 seat plane.
You're gonna fly it enough.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
You're gonna fly constantly.
I mean, especially if you're USC and UCLA.
Yeah.
Don't buy it in California because the tax out there is outrageous. Get it somewhere else.
Yeah, now you buy it. Like you buy it, the Big Ten headquarters in Indianapolis. Buy that thing in Indianapolis.
Get it there and then fly it home. You good,
right? It's going to be in the Midwest more than it's going to be out there.
Sure. Just its hub is there. We leave it there. It's fine.
You buy a 50, you buy 100, and now you can take your lacrosse team or your volleyball team or your soccer team or whatever, wherever you want to go. Like this dude, come on, man. Like, how much of it does he go to bed at night believing? I think is the real question, right? Like, because it's obvious he's full of shit. But that's like this, there are people that say things that they don't believe. And then there are people that say things that aren't true that they do believe. Has this guy convinced himself?
Is he convincing anyone? I mean,
well, you have to convince yourself to start.
He can't believe what he's saying.
No. It's impossible.
And I mean, if you want a real laugh show, just literally look up George Clivekov and just look at not the top tweets, but the latest tweets. Nobody's buying anything that he's selling. You can scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll.
Talk about an entity that overplayed their hand with Mandel and Wilner and the other guy. I forget his name because he's irrelevant.
The Johns. That was the other.
Yeah, the guy. Yeah, the other John. The Oregon John. Not the LA John, but the Oregon John. Everybody's been watching them implode from afar. And now the commissioner, who has been feeding all of this bullshit to these three mouthpieces, is putting those guys in there was an article a week ago from one of the Johns, Kazano, I think might be his name.
Kazano.
It starts with a C and it ends with an O.
Either Kazano or Canzano.
There's
one or the other.
There's a C and an O, and there's Z's and O's in the middle. That's all I really remember about him. But calling Yormark a used car salesman. No, you know what he might be a car salesman, but he's selling the Mercedes and the Lexus and the Bentleys. He ain't selling an 86 Toyota Camry. You idiots.
His suit's too nice to be selling that stuff.
Right? You know what the suit looks like when you walk on.
I'm just saying. You walk in a room looking like that guy and you know that you're a dude. Right. You are a boss.
And you're confident and you know exactly what you're talking about, and you believe in yourself. And when you watch the Pac-12 and their situation, I don't think there's a lot of belief in what they're selling.
Well, because the stories don't even jive. Like when
Right.
yesterday you had Amazon may be a major player in this whole thing, and you've had universities come out blatantly saying we don't want to be involved in streaming. We want to be involved
Right.
in cable more than anything. So I don't know what to make of any of this. The whole thing seems it's literally an arms race to see who can get to the TV deal first. I just don't have a lot of faith in the Pac-12 to get it done, and I have far more faith in Brett Yormark and the Big 12 to come out ahead in this race.
Yeah. The point of this whole thing being, it was another opportunity for this guy to go up there and build some belief in what's happening in the Pac-12, and he failed miserably on every point.
Again, just appreciate the new commissioner that you have, because
Yeah.
we got ourselves a dude.
Right. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Thursday, 3 Keys tomorrow night. We'll see you there. It's the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
Sip!